The former governor of Benue State, Gabriel Suswam, gave a clear picture of the problems facing the PDP during his interview on Arise TV. He said the crisis started when former President Obasanjo left the party and tore his membership card in public.
Well, Chas, thank you very much. Let me first give a context to the question before I answer it. When Goodluck assumed office as the president.
That's Goodluck Jonathan.
Jonathan,
right.
After President Obasanjo. Obasanjo, then as ex-president, leading member of PDP, devalued the party. That was when the problem of PDP started. He tore the PDP card in presence of the media. That was when the problem started. Now, beyond that, when Goodluck left as president, he has never attended any meeting of PDP anywhere. These are major characters in PDP.
But is he still?
Who have never shown any interest. And so the leadership question in PDP began to show sign that, well, there is no leader after all. President Obasanjo tore the card, clearly indicating that he was no longer interested in the party. President
Or
Jonathan,
any party for that
or
matter.
any party for that matter. But he was one of the biggest beneficiaries of PDP. So no matter what, you can't just jettison it like that. But he did, for reasons that I won't question. He's an elder statesman, he's a father. I won't question that. President Jonathan left PDP. He has never shown any single interest in the party. And so the vacuum, the leadership vacuum was created, because you would expect ordinarily that people who have been president, who are members of the party, remain in the party, take interest and give direction and guidance. PDP didn't have that.
Yeah, but when they're elevated to the position of elder statesmen, they become, a statesman for all Nigerians and not partisan politics.
As far as the state are concerned, I'm an elder statesman in Benue State. I'm a member of PDP, and I take part in the meetings and interest to guide the young ones who are coming behind. In any society, even at the village level, you have elders who guide that society. So you can't benefit from a platform and jettison that platform. Now, I'm bringing this context to show that the problems of PDP did not start just yesterday.
Yeah,
it
but
started,
the
it started
PDP,
long ago.
I see the
PDP
point you're making, but I mean, the PDP doesn't just depend on Goodluck Jonathan and Obasanjo.
No.
I mean, there are people like you in the party.
I'm coming. What I'm saying is it has to do with leadership.
Yeah.
Once there was no clear leader, the governors, elected governors of PDP, because they are now holding the states in different regions, became obviously the leaders of the party. And every person was expecting that they would give leadership. That is why you have the leadership of PDP Governors Forum. That leadership has not come. There has been complaint. There are obvious breaches of the provisions of the constitution of the party, which are glaring to everybody. A lot of people have spoken about it. A lot of noise has been made. No decision was taken. So what is happening in Delta is going to happen in a lot of states.
So you expect it's going to get worse?
It's going to get worse because, you see, in any organization that you don't have good leadership, there's no way you expect anything better than what is happening.
Well, some people could make the argument about Nigeria and the issue of leadership.
Charles, we're not talking about Nigeria.
No, I know,
we're talking
but
about PDP.
I'm just
so let's
saying
focus on PDP.
Right.
If you call me here to discuss Nigeria, I will very well.
Well, I mean, there's no way that that Nigeria would not be a subset of a discussion about the PDP. I mean,
it is the same thing. If we don't have good leadership in a country, of course, you're going to have issues. Let's focus on PDP.
So the point you're making basically is that looking at the PDP itself, because I mean, you say it started with Obasanjo. Some people say it started in 2015. That there's a lot of scar tissue, basically, from that defeat that the party suffered in 2015 and subsequently in 2019 and again in 2023. And it's just been downhill with the party, further weakened after each election subsequent to 2015.
exactly the point I'm making, Charles. If President Obasanjo, as the leader of our party, had stayed in the party, he would have been able to guide the sitting president then and guide we, the younger ones, towards a direction that apparently we wouldn't have lost the election. But the leader of the party decided to unceremoniously leave the party. Now, the president, the sitting president, was left. There was no person that would talk to him. You know, talking to a president, you must either be a very senior person in the country whom he respects or a former president. There was no such thing. So a lot of things happened. We lost the election in 2015. That alone wouldn't have been anything. But beyond that, the president himself who lost the election showed no interest in the party. And so the party was left with no single leadership. The governors who are leaders in their own state have to come together and provide leadership. Divergent interest setting, that wasn't going to come. And so PDP began to degenerate. The leadership of the PDP became a problem, and a lot of people questioned it. First and foremost, the issue of whether the constitution of the party was respected. Of course, you and I know that it wasn't respected. The provisions of the constitutions copiously state that if for any reason the person who is the chairman from a particular area leaves, there's a period that the deputy should act, and then they should move back to that decision. That has not happened up to now. Of course, you don't expect people from the North Central to be happy and have the same interest they had in the PDP. And other people who are also not comfortable with the current leadership of the PDP, of course. You saw what happened in the East, where they have to drag the case all the way to the Supreme Court and back to the party now. So there are a lot of problems. And these issues, while they were going on, people were saying that, look, this leadership has a problem. I don't blame Okowa for what he did. If he was also somebody who didn't like what was happening in PDP as it related to the leadership, and there was nothing he could do, then he's taking his stand.
Right. Yeah. So basically, you don't have a problem with people like that because they decided to quit. They basically had enough, and they said they were going to leave.
Some people have had it up to here. There are people who have not left, but have no single interest in PDP any longer.
Yeah.
There are quite a number of big stakeholders in PDP who are just staying and looking at it. They are no longer interested.
Do you have interest in the party still?
I have interest in the party, but I also have my own limit as a human being.
Right.
And I'm getting to that limit. So there are a lot of stakeholders. For instance, the former governor of Imo, Emeka, he resigned from the PDP a long time ago because he couldn't have...
You mean Emeka Ehedio?
Ehedio, yes.
Right, yeah.
There's quite a number of former governors. You won't see them in any meeting of PDP. Now, because there's incompetence at the level of leadership in PDP.
Right.
And so they see no reason why they should continue to engage in, the pretense of, people who will come and advise an incompetent leadership.
All right, guys. The question now is, can the PDP recover without strong leadership? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this video, and subscribe to Red Niger TV for more.
Thanks for watching.